Alright guys, so I'm under the truck, and this is what I did to get the RPMs working. You see this? That's the torque converter right there. That's the flex plate. So you see that tone wheel? That was on the Range Rover. The Range Rover has the crankshaft sensor right here by the bell housing on the transmission. So what I did was I basically grinded it off. I cut it off the Range Rover flex plate and I welded it on the LS flex plate. I centered it the best I could, and I put the crank sensor. Where's it at? Oh, right there. I put the that's the crankshaft sensor. That's the Range Rover crankshaft sensor. That's hooked up to the Range Rover engine control module. So when the engine rotates, that tone wheel rotates and it gives signal to that crankshaft sensor. And without the Range Rover computer reading RPMs, the airbag system won't work. The air compressor won't turn on. So that's the only reason that I got it working. I didn't really do it for the RPMs because I really didn't care for that, but it was more for the airbag system to work. So that's how I did the RPMs. And this is the let's see if you could see it from over here. Okay, those are the motor mounts. Again, sorry for the sucky video. Doing the best I could, guys. So I basically just built that bracket. I think it's 1/8 inch steel or 1/4 inch steel. I'm not sure, but it's plate. And those are the original Range Rover motor mounts right there. So I basically just built that bracket. This is the other side. There it is. Again, I'm not, this isn't like a tutorial on how to do it. This is just showing you how I did it so you can do it better or figure your own way, because I did it to the best of my abilities. So just take this information and just so it could help you. I'm not saying this is the best way to do it. I'm pretty sure there's better ways, but this is how I did it. Those are the headers. You see how there's enough space. This is what I did for the transmission. Okay, this is the original transmission cross member. This is the original transmission mount for the Range Rover. So I basically just welded a piece of plate. This is the 4060E mount, the metal that comes with the mount. I just took off all the rubber and I welded a flat plate to it, and I drilled some holes through the Range Rover motor mount, and that's how I got it bolted up. So I didn't really have to mess with the cross member down here, none of that. It's just bolted up really, really nice. It was like right in a good place. So that's the motor mount. I mean the transmission mount. This is what I did for the shift cable. This contraption right here. I think this is off like the original Range Rover transmission. You need this so it could swivel, because it has to like swivel here. That's what I did. And then this is from the Range Rover as well, this piece right here, and I welded that to the 4060E shifter bracket, and that's how I got it to work. That's what I did for that. All right, guys, so that's pretty much for the bottom of the truck. As you can see, it has the original oil pan, and there's plenty of space. You still have space down here. I did already had to take off the oil pan because I dropped the jack. I don't know what I did. I cracked the oil pan, so I had to take it off. And there's enough space to take it off. You don't have to lift the engine or anything like that. Those are the transmission lines. All right, guys. So I guess if you have any questions, let me know. I don't know, maybe somebody that has machining skills could do a better job on the flex plate. Maybe fabricate some that they would just be bolt up and go. And this is the drive shaft. I got a drive shaft off a Hummer H2, and I just adapted the 4060 yoke. And this is the only one that I could find, and I'm just waiting to find one in the pick and pull so I could get a better looking one. And for to bolt up to the differential, I used the Range Rover end piece, and I just I used I don't know what size on the top of my head, but I got it to work with this drive shaft. It's basically two sizes. I think it's a splicer, but I'm not sure what size it is. So it has different size cups, but that's how I got it to work. I didn't have to get a custom drive shaft or any of that. I mean, if you have the budget for that, well, it's better. You don't really have to mess with it. This is what I did for the exhaust. Got an X pipe and just runned it out. This is original Range Rover exhaust. The only thing I did to it was I added the X pipe. And this is where I connected to the Range Rover exhaust. All right. Again, I'm sorry for the sucky video. Just put pause or whatever on the parts that interest you, or forward it, or there it is. Oh, let me show you where this is where I bolted the fuel regulator. This is the original fuel line that feeds the engine. That's the original one from the Range Rover, and I added this return hose. Yep. All right, guys, that's it.